right now, and obviously Liquid has a escape mechanism for sure. But touching back on the lane, I want to mention the fact that like Ogre does pretty well in this lane against like Centaur SD. It's annoying, like where, yeah, like if you can draw the if you have a active carry who can maybe play off the positioning, and then you maybe like get one of those heroes alone, you're gonna buy so much time where if they do want to kill you, as long as you play outside the lane and they're moving away from the actual creeps, then you put your carry in a really good position. Sure,
I must be just really bad, because I've played this matchup multiple times with different carries, different position ones, and it's not that easy.
Yeah, I'm phrasing it more in a way which is like you're not going to suddenly win the lane out of farm. It's more like you can open enough space that the SD.
So you're playing something like Puppy, giving your core enough space.
You're going to be
more
level 2, your carry's going to be level 6 maybe.
As long as you're not trading, as long as okay, you can mess with the SD on the sidelines, that's true, but if you try and trade that lane, if you try and really dominate it, it's not going to be your dumb overrunning clubbing, you know, it won't work.
No.
I just love the comparison. It's kind of that pub experience where someone's like, GG, this lane is lost already, and then T just comes in, it's like, there's something we can do to fix what's happening there.
Like, if anyone ever wants to watch how to play position 5 to enable their core, you watch the replay yesterday of Puppy playing Bane with Nisha and Ember Spirit, and the way in which he basically starved himself for levels and allowed him to be like level 8 at like minute 9 or something, and just dumped the lane.
I just have to as well say that works versus some heroes, doesn't work versus everything. I think the problem with Centaur is already here, if you don't draft something that's decent versus him in the lane, he will still just dominate you out of it. But you can always play around it, and it also comes down to the SD. Like yesterday, Bane was able to completely bully the Kotl, right?
Yeah, and it was a bristle as well, so it wasn't like two. So they go for the Oracle.
Right, they go for the Oracle instead.
But now when I see SD Oracle supports, I think of like cores that have high mobility that don't really care about the lack of lockdown, right? And I kind of loosely mentioned Slark.
For Alliance?
Yeah, for Alliance especially. Yeah, I think that it just amplifies even further. Like right now, you can just pick up your offlane, right? You pick up your Wyvern +1 combo. Last time they ran this, they had a Beastmaster, but that's why Liquid banned it out. Yeah. They've already kind of done their research, and I think if you just pick your offlaner here, you get
Alliance could just go for the Brew again. They love that hero. They don't consider him weak at all. Even after being trashed pretty much yesterday, they still think it's strong. They have faith, so we'll see how they go for the Timber instead. Okay, Timber is definitely more common. Brew yesterday was, in FNG's words, a reaction to the Monkey King, even though he got killed like 5 times on the Monkey King.
Yeah, it wasn't a good reaction.
It wasn't a good reaction. However, in FNG's words at least, it's a good lane. They just made a lot of mistakes. But that's what I tell every of my former teammates. That's what I would say. No, the draft was good.
Yeah, don't blame the draft.
You just need to get better.
Yeah. But there's 2 things that Dota players do. They either lose a game and instantly blame the draft and don't think about the game, or they blame the last fight, the final fight in the entire game outside your Ancient, and blame it on like a missed stun in that game. That's the 2 issues with players. Yeah. And then you have the third player that actually breaks it down properly.
That's what I was waiting for. I was like, at the moment, you've given me 2 types of players that aren't going to improve.
There's option number 3 as well. A rare use case, nonetheless.
Speaking of options, Alliance can flex this Timber as well, right? Because Limp plays a lot of Timber, but you could also run on S4. So that's something that Liquid have to consider?
Yeah, when you are first pick, you utilize your final pick in second phase as your strongest pick in the draft normally. So for them, it's going to be, can we pick our best core here? Let's say it's an insane slot game, they can't ban it out yet, you pick it. So it really depends on where Liquid goes with this next pick, and they've pretty much, they set themselves up for that big last pick, so I'm expecting this just to be a carry that can obviously match up against a potential Timbersaw.
Anything that's come to mind, top of your head?
Part of me says like an active core, then you put your win condition.
So you're going
like
back
Ursa,
to old Liquid's Monkey King or something like that.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, Monkey actually is. Yeah, that's the answer.
It's very, very strong with Oracle. And you have to think about Liquid now. Of course, we mentioned Alliance and how they should get these mobile cores because there's not a lot of lockdown coming from the supports of Liquid. Any cores that require saves are golden here. You have two of them, and the Stampede. You have the Disruption, you have the Oracle ulti. And you know what?
Speaking of do not say,
There you go.
We're back, boys. We're
It's
back.
Liquid. When you see this Oracle, they're not gonna go away from the Huskar. They're not gonna go away from these
how long- hold
dirty
on.
cheese picks that everyone hates them for. They're gonna embrace them, man. They're
I'm
gonna go for
find
the
out
Huskar.
The last time they played
They
Huskar.
played it on the WePlay Pushka League as well with an
they?
Oracle. Yeah,
Ah,
not far. I remember the game. It worked out.
it catches you off guard a little bit as well, right? Because usually when you've seen Oracle, you're thinking
Actually,
Monkey King
did
is
they
there
lose
to
that
control.
game? There was like a Lina mid, I think, and Huskar got kind of crushed. Not
Currently,
sure.
I believe
remembering
he
the
did have a
alphabet real
pretty
quick.
rough time at the start of the
Yeah.
game.
16 days ago, they lost
Yeah.
to Alliance.
There you go.
Damn, in a
So Alliance
25-minute
already knows
game.
this one.
Was it a Lina mid as well?
It was Alina.
It was a Lina
On
mid.
And
the
they
right
could
side,
potentially still do
There,
that, right?
Thank
Yeah.
you, stats man, T governor.
Get me a Lina. No, please. I've never ever in my life said get me a Lina. But there's the Ricky. All right.
Oh,
This was the point when you're first pick, you have to use this last pick in second phase as your gotcha pick.
oh,
But
this
then
isn't gotcha pick, man. They're picking
there's
Ricky
a
into.
bot there, Lizard.
They're picking Ricky into a centaur.
But it's more the fact that, okay, ignore the Ricky and Centaur lane, etc., etc. Because Alliance can obviously put the Timber in Centaur lane, put the
I
Ricky
hope
elsewhere.
they will.
I hope they will. It's the fact that you have such a big factor on double save supports that the Ricky, he has to basically be the assassin. The Timber will soak up the space, the Ricky has to kill Oracle to start the fight, and then from that point you can then roll through the team.
So
That's
you-
why he's picked.
From the way you're describing it, it sounds like Alliance put themselves in a situation where if Liquid jumps on them, they have to somehow disengage and the supports instantly.
In a general sense, sure. It's mainly the fact that you now have this Ogre who can basically... Ogre and Timber are your like pseudo-vision finders, right? They walk up the high ground, they do what they need to do, they soak in the rotations, or tank the rotations, and then Ricky, when he gets defusal, as long as he's playing around his team, he can always jump these backlines, and the backline is so critical for Liquid to be able to take...
You have this mid-game situation in which if your Ricky is not online, if he cannot fight and find the Oracle and the Shadow Demon, you won't be able to fight at all.
Yeah.
So if his laning stage goes poorly, this game for me is already in Liquid's hands. They really need to think about this last pick and to get something that can deal with the Huskar mid lane.
They did ban out the Monkey King on their side, so with that kind of info, what are you maybe thinking of?
I'm thinking that they're banning it because of Timber Saw.
Yeah,
That
it's
also
not the side
scares me.
lanes,
That
yeah.
also scares me because I was hoping that the Timber will go versus the Centaur. Now, I might be wrong. They might be reading this a little bit different. They might value the Ricky a little bit higher versus the Centaur than we do. They go with the Razor in the end. All right.
I'm
like
not
the-
hearing inspiring words right
No,
now.
no, I
Feel
like
good
the
about it?
Razor pick because they do have this very... They have the potential of, like, one, getting rid of these more active heroes, the melee heroes that can annoy you, and also you have the fact that, in a very broad sense, you could potentially put the Razor, obviously, mid against the Huskar.
But this
And
is like obvious.
Yeah,
This
but-
is so obvious, man.
Yeah, but-
I'm waiting for you to end your statement because Queen of Pain is just hurting my eyes.
But you just put
It
the
has
Ricky
to
mid
come.
now, and put the Razor side lane.
You put the Ricky mid.
Yeah, just let him chill, vibe, get some
How
fun
is he gonna chill versus Queen of Pain?
Queen of Pain players typically don't have any
No one's
chill.
gonna have a good time in this lane.
All right.
So you want to throw your kind of hero that we said needs to be doing a lot under the bus and put him
What-
mid?
Yeah, put him under the bus right now. No, actually, he's got tricks of the trade. He's actually perfectly fine. I actually think you can put Ricky mid in this game. You put Razor safe lane against the Centaur.
But you're cooldown dependent. It
Yeah.
reminds me of the Void Spirit matchup in which, and you need this Ricky to be very active after the lanes.
Alliance are in the position where they need pretty much Ricky and Razor have to have a good time,
Yeah,
right?
that's
like,
true.
It's
I
like you're
guess
all
it's-
leaning on one hero, right?
yeah.
But in reality, it's like both heroes have to have a good game. You've been co-opted, you've been Huskard. We're kind of trying to find ways in which they can actually have good lanes. and
Maybe they'll do some crazy trial-ins
Yeah,
as well
the
with the
main
Ricky
thing
on
is-
the Huskar, Razor mid, and Timber safe lane. It's possible. It definitely looks hard for them. They're playing into a Huskar and the Queen of Pain. I think this Queen of Pain in the end. One thing that Liquid has got going for them, their players can play any lanes, right? And they can play pretty much these heroes Mickey can play it, Koikwa can play it, right? They're very flexible, and this Huskar most likely will be your safe laner, Queen of Pain mid versus the Razor to counter that pick. Later on, you do have some catch though versus the co-op. You do have diffusal into a smoke screen.
But that's
you have the
the important thing, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that Liquid have got the laning dominance, but if Alliance can actually find a way to lane it correctly, can survive that initial onslaught, they have the ways to actually pick apart Liquid's draft. It's just the fact that the first 15 minutes is so goddamn scary, as you also relying on items, whilst Liquid are basically relying on just existing and pushing their buttons.
So quick summary, where you sit.
Team Liquid.
Liquid.
I'll go in the Nicker, baby. Ricky, go, why not? Alliance.
All right, from what my panel's saying, this sounds like a bit of a horror story start for the side of Alliance, but let's see if they can get through the end and come out of the horror house alive as we throw it across to Cinder and the Suns fan.
Greetings, Cinderin, Huskar, Oracle. Are you ready for some disgusting, filthy Dota?
I'm ready. I'm ready to watch Ricky lose his 20th game in a row that I have watched.
What? What are you saying? You're not a believer
have we cast
in
a game
Ricky?
that Ricky has won?
I don't know. You think I remember what I even did yesterday? Was
Yeah.
so tell me
I'm
about
asking the wrong
tell me
person
why
here.
it's so bad.
Let me ask myself, have I seen Ricky win? I don't think I've seen Ricky win. No. I don't know. The thing about this hero is I think I want to believe, right? I want to believe in it being good. And I've seen it do very well in pubs, and I've seen it do well in some pro games, but I just feel like it doesn't convert victories that often, just because of its inability to take Roche and take towers.
Cinderin, while you hate on Ricky,
Taiga's
Taiga
dead.
is getting destroyed.
5-man
And it was
game.
with the help of Ricky, who clicked him 3 times. Now what do you think of the hero?
No, Alliance seemed to like going as these 5-man squads early on in the game to get first blood. It seems to be something that they do more than other teams right now. So pays off. They get first blood on Ogre. I don't want to talk too much about the Riki. Like, it's very clear it has some weaknesses and some strengths. I'm just a bit of a semi-hater in Pro Dota right now, until I'm convinced otherwise by some victories. So, with all of that out of the way, I'm favoring Liquid a bit, because I think their mid-game is really powerful when they want to start fighting. They have means of initiating, they have a way to getting Roche, they have good lanes like the panel talked about. And I don't think Alliance kill Huskar very well. Usually the way you kill Huskar is you get single target damage, right? You basically have Timber here that deals well with Huskar. Outside of that, I'm not
Well, the question
sold.
is, can anyone kill Huskar on Liquid? Because there is Winter's Curse.
Yes, there is. But they can disrupt that, they can Oracle that. There's the double save and everything is there. Yeah, so.
Very true. Well, Hanskin's going to have his work cut out for him in terms of getting those beautiful curses off.
The bigger
Part of that, of course, is
perspective
positioning.
I think about this Ricky pick is getting, like, actually living up to his name. You know, you're getting an assassin here. You want to be able to kill the supports. And they were like, what carry can we get that can get into the backlines and kill Oracle and Shadow Fragment so we can open up the fights? Because if you don't kill the saves here, your lineup's going to struggle a lot. And Ricky is obviously a great choice there. Alternative option could have been something like Spectre. Maybe PA is something a team like Secret might have picked in this slot. Good against both supports in terms of sniping and single target damage against Huskar. But it's possible they don't feel comfortable with the hero, or that they still thought Ricky was better. But yeah, I definitely agree with that line of thought, if that's the reasoning here, that you want to solve these supports. It seems like a problem that a lot of teams have when they play against this double save is, well, if you can't get on the saves, what are you going to do in fights?
Right. Well, they're leaving him to his own devices in the top lane, a 1v2. Not exactly what you're looking for Ricky to get full farm, but of course he does have a high base regen, so that's one thing to keep note of. FNG does TP down, or TP up to help him out now. So they're not sticking with that tri-lane bot. They were trying to disrupt Koikwa, but it doesn't look like that was really happening. So it's back to a 2-1-2. That's top lane Taiga. Getting beat down a bit by FNG. Still pretty safe though. Has his disruption now. So he can truly turn the Ogre against himself if he wants.
And the
We'll see
good
how
news
that-
for
Farming goes for the Ricky this game.
Yeah, exactly. So usually when you start 1v2 as the carry, a lot of the time it's really a big struggle to get anything. But Nico has still managed to get 8 CS. He got 7 or 6 of them before FNG even showed up. So I think that's pretty solid, right?
Oh,
and
bottom
didn't
lane.
get that much out. Oh,
Well, I watched that. S4 was pressuring very hard, and Handskin with the Arctic Burn was getting him low. But Fortune's End, I thought was going to save him, but S4 just continued to dive. I mean, it is a Timber Saw at the end of the day, and that pure damage coming from Whirling Death when next to a tree is pretty sickening. Perfect secure like Huskar.
not expecting Timber to get a kill in this lane. I think that's already...
Top lane now, hoof stomp after the... I mean, this is a tried and true. We talked about this combo yesterday, even though we didn't get to see it. The Centaur SD. So much damage coming out. This is going to be a good lane for Boxy.
But it's really good news for S4 on this Timber, I think. Like, I was not expecting him to get a kill. Usually in Huskar versus Timber matchups, the Huskar can become overpowering when he starts getting 2 or 3 levels in Burning Spear. You just... Yeah, you have your regen, but it actually is too powerful. And, like, for example, in mid lane, where this matchup could have been played in the past, what Timber ends up doing is he ends up just starting to cut waves at level 3. Just doesn't lane against the Huskar at all. In the bottom lane, the dynamic is a bit different. You don't have the luxury of doing it in the same way. But we might see S4 still having to do it, although that start will definitely help him out in a big way.
Yep, Handskin's still here, of course. Quickfoot is level 3, so has 2 in the Burning Spears as of this moment. We haven't really talked about mid lane at all, but Mickey on the Quap versus Limp on Razor, looking at the 23-7 to 20-4 advantage for Limp, so pretty close to even. What do you think of this lane in general, hero versus hero?
So Quap is a classic counter pick to Razor in the lane. I think Razors and the Razor players have adapted to the playstyle of the lane a bit, and that I would say also just the slight buffs the hero has received over time have made this matchup more bearable, I would say. But I still expect Quap to win, so Limp having this position is really good. He was fortunate enough to get a regen rune though, that is a big help obviously.
Yeah.
But pretty even.
Okay. Yeah, CS is pretty even right now as well. We'll see if there's going to be any rotations from each respective side as the 5-minute bounties do cometh. Alliance did get the... Was it Alliance or Liquid, actually, they got the first 3, or 3 out of 4. I think it was Alliance because of the pressuring that they did top lane. We'll see how they end up distributing this time around. Is Hanson going to go for the same Orchid build with the greedy Wyvern?
Yeah, probably. It seems to be their go-to pretty much every game, and that is a really good item against the saves. Right? This gives Wyvern the option of taking one of the saves out of the equation. Oh, he's really...
I mean, level 1 of Whirling Death is actually disgusting. So nice. Does get the tango going here, but S4 is going to continue to zone him out. Koikwa is just not even remotely close to any creep, so a lot of wasted XP coming about. And another Whirling Death. Insania is here to help, so S4 can only go so far. It does have 2 levels in reactive armor, so can't go super ham yet.
Oh, Hanskin's in trouble now, though. He went too close.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get Fortune's End, and Koikwa with a couple more right clicks will be able to take him out. Insania actually takes credit for it. S4 is going to continue to pull the wave, though.
Yeah. I think this lane is going to break up now. Huskar hit level 5. So these 3 levels in Burning Spear will be really powerful, and Timber can just avoid him entirely. Just keep cutting waves. Oracle can't do anything about this, so S4 will get his free farm behind the tower, and Huskar will get his free farm in the tower or in the lane, where he maybe pulls to the hard camp. So it frees up Oracle to move, and there's some interesting plays available. He could try a kill mid with Quap's level 7 here. He could try to TP top and really shut down this Ricky. But it seems like for now he's lingering. This is Liquid. They love stacking camps more than any other team I've seen in the last months. Not doing that though. He's gonna hit S4 once and realize, okay, that didn't do damage, and then he's gonna run away.
I forgot what hero I'm playing. Yes. He has 3 in reactive armor, so he is in pretty much no trouble at all until Life Break comes about for Koikwa, which is now.
Yeah. So now there's a play. Now there's a play. And they rotated down the Quap. This is a really good timing to get S4.
Yeah.
And he should be in big
wave
trouble.
Available. Shadow Strike to start. Koikwa needs to get in range for his life break. S4 does have TP.
Yeah, they're saving fortunes in for that reason.
He's doing a
This is
nice
a
job of
Big old waste of time.
without
Huskar
Quirkla there.
Yeah.
Yeah, without Quirkla, I don't know if they can kill him actually.
And they got the kill on the Centaur top as well. Limp rotated up with the Razor. Got that kill, giving Nico Baby more space. And one of the great luxuries of Razor as a mid hero, he can farm jungle. As Huntskin will die to Insania, but
If S4 gets his kill, okay, not enough mana. Not level 6 actually as of yet. If he was, that would have more than likely been a kill.
yeah.
But overall, I mean, look at the CS Cinder, 37 and 5 for Ricky versus Huskar's 29 and 5. So, despite everything that's occurred in your, looks like Ricky will die as I am talking about him. It's pretty typical. Over the tower, but there is rotation here from the Razor. Boxy, all he has is double edge right now, but Mickey with the Sonic Wave available, this is the question. Not quite enough damage. Now it is. He gets the kill onto the Razor, and looks like FNG is going to be next. Bloodlust the tower before its inevitable death. So a nice double rotation.
Yeah, really good play from Liquid here. They bring the right heroes at the right time and the right numbers. And what I like from Boxy there was when the disruption went out on Razor, it looked like he could just run away, but he kind of, I don't know if this was on purpose or not. It's like, it looked like in his mind he had hoof stomp ready and he could chain a stomp and then run away on the disrupt, but then he had 6-second cooldown. So he kind of went semi-close and then still backed off, and that baited in Limp to go for that kill of the Sagling. He was like, wait, what's this guy doing? Why is he so close still? And then the Queen of Pain comes in. So whatever way that was set up by Liquid, if that was deliberate, that was really nice. And the outcome obviously is super good.
Indeed.
So well done.
A couple item progression things that I want to talk about in terms of the carries for each respective team. So Huskar, no big surprise, double bracer going for armlet now, I assume. I mean, typically you see the halberd after that. Is that still going to be the choice you think, or is there a better one this time around?
I think Pike is actually insane this game, but I don't know if you want to buy its second item on Huskar. Like, Force Staff is the item here, right? You counter Static Link, you counter Ricky's Smokescreen, you get it out of Chakram, which all of these things are a problem for Huskar. But he can probably expect his supports to get minimum 1, maybe even 2 Force Staffs. Maybe Centaur will get 1. But it kind of depends on what timing they're looking for. The Halberd is a little bit... It's good against Razor, right? It is good. So...
No, you're right. The Force Staff gives a lot of value against the majority of the lineup. But we'll see what, or I mean, I'm sure he'll get it at some point. The question is what order.
Yeah, Huskar is just not one of my big heroes, so like I can see what type of problems the hero has, but I don't know. You know, sometimes it's like, man, I have this problem that I can solve with this item, but the cost of it is too high. I don't know how much it hurts to buy a Force Staff after Armlet. Like, if it's really terrible for your timing in the game. Like, if it prevents you from doing something key, like winning a key team fight, getting Roche, or feeling confident pushing towers when you have 2 defensive supports behind you. Which is kind of the key thing. Like, if you have 2 defensive supports, do you need to itemize defensively at all?
As mid lane, we'll see Wyvern end up getting taken out. Boxy,
again.
A lot of stack camps on this Liquid side, by the way. He wasn't able to take this one yet because he's very weak. I don't think FNG will be able, I mean, he'll be able to see it now, but yeah, it's just an ogre that's a level 3 at this point. Level 3, it's about to be 10 minutes now. As the outpost will be split. He gains a little bit in terms of leveling, now level 4.25.
Oh, gosh, Box is going to get so rich now.
Will he take, yeah, he's going to get all these. It's going to be nice. That's going to be his hood, I assume it's going to be.
Yep. Probably.
Both are going to be coming out here very shortly.
Does he have anything for it yet?
No, I assume
okay,
he
then
has
it's
something on
not
the
a hood.
courier.
No.
Okay, just casual ring then. All right, now in terms of Nico Baby's build, Cinder, I know you hate Ricky. You really think the hero's garbage. You've made that very clear. We've been seeing a lot of triple Wraith bands, triple Wraith bands into the diffusal. He's skipping that, just staying with a single Wraith band. I'm assuming it's because Huskar just comes online so fast and you need to be able to at least have your 1 core item before you start fighting.
It might be that, but it might also just be something as simple as how well did your first 5 minutes go? If you the games that we've seen Ricky's go triple Wraith Band, they had free farm, right? They had a really good lane. And in this lane, Nico has clearly not had Stampede.
Screens there, Nico Baby not able to finish off the Oracle as of yet. Stampede was used as a lot of rotation TPs here from Alliance.
He brought 4 heroes and got nothing.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Very little damage done as well.
I got the bot tower though. The siege creep just on its own got that done.
GG, MVP siege creep. For the
S4
win.
set it up well enough before he TP'd up here, and now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that what you do now as Alliance is you made this over rotation basically, and you have to understand that it's hard for you to get
Kill the
kills.
mid. Curse onto the Queen of Pain. Into the Fire Blast as well. He's going to be able to blink away to safety though. And he also had a save in the form of the Shadow Demon.
We talked about 2 saves. There's kind of 3, right? There's Stampede as well, and they used that to save their support's top that got jumped on. So you need to play around these 3 saves. And if you rotate this many heroes, so your Timber is now stuck up there. He has to play the top area, and then you need to rotate all the way across the map on the rest of your lineup. So it opens up a bit of an aggressive move here mid for Liquid to actually get to the tower. Really nicely done.
Yeah, uncontested now that that curse is down. Yeah, I mean, when they picked the Ricky, I'm just looking at the enemy lineup. It's a weird game. As much as I love Ricky, Cinderin, you know me, it is a weird game with all of these saves. Especially like you talk about how Force Staff counters the heroes are, but Stampede by itself, as long as he's not in the smoke screen, he can save most of his teammates.
Yeah.
A good portion of the time.
I mean, this Liquid lineup is really good. I think the Huskar, everybody will be focusing on the cheese pick and Huskar, whatever you want to call it. But there's plenty of other heroes that can be in this spot, and this Radiant lineup just looks really nice for this patch. They could have, if you think about it, they could have picked almost any carry here. They like the Huskar this game, and everybody loves to hate on Liquid for picking cheese heroes like Brood, Huskar. But, you know, if, let's say, Koik was playing Necrophos or something, I would still love their lineup. Or an actual carry.
Top tower's going to be taken out as Liquid.
Oh, nice.
Get out.
Disrupt.
False Promise is actually canceled. He wants to go for more, but the Winter's Curse is applied now. S4. Let's see if he can do enough damage to box it. That is a lot with the Chakra. But here comes Nikkei with that Queen of Pain. Life Break onto S4 now as he's getting burned to oblivion by Koikfa, trying to take somebody with him, but that's not going to be the case. As again, Liquid just winning pretty much every engagement, despite only having a 1k lead right now. Still feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Something Alliance.
I'm buying a Spirit Vessel, by the way, for Alliance. Doesn't somebody have to buy that this game?
I don't know how good it is. It's like, in theory, it's good against Huskar, but the Huskar has 2 Dispels in his team. He has the Oracle, False Promise, as well as Fortune's End that takes it off. They have Disruption to buy time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know if it's really that good. I think people a lot of the time get too caught up in we have to get this item against this specific hero, but there's like bigger things at play in this game than just that. Usually, absolutely, you get a Vessel against Huskar, no doubt. But the problem for your lineup is, can you actually isolate and kill him if you Vessel him? I think you're still going to face that problem where maybe it's better to itemize against the supports so that you can open the fight on your terms, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that would make sense, especially from Hanskin's point of view, going for...
I like the Orchid over Vessel on him.
Yeah, I mean, Orchid makes a lot of sense for killing out those supports really early, preventing the False Promise from even happening. It's like going back to the future, you know? At the beginning.
Yeah, I guess.
That made any sense. Pretty low on HP. Everything I say makes sense. Why do you question me? It's been years, Cinder. You know what I'm saying.
I gave it up a while ago. But I can still have a good laugh at it.
Diffusal almost online for Nico Baby. And that's when he'll be able to at least do a little bit. I mean, typically when you look at these supports, like the Shadow Demon and Oracle, you can kill them yourself for sure. But the question is, will they be by themselves, or will there be a Stampede to assist?
Exactly. There's always the Stampede. It's a tricky game for him, I think, on that Ricky. He needs to really play around things very well. They can Ogre Stun or Curse the Stampede, but that's it. Radiator didn't go for Yule. Timber is far away from getting a Yule. So Ricky, yeah, kind of a bit on his own in terms of killing these isolated targets off.
Oh, they're gonna scout out Roshan real quick with that courier that dies instantly. Ogre Magi without a courier for now. As Roshan is a little bit under half HP boxy, getting boxed out, if you will, by Nico Baby, but he's gonna get ulted by the Shadow Demon. Looks like he's gonna live for now. And Alliance has done a successful job at least preventing this for now. S4 very low on mana and getting low on HP thanks to all this damage over time coming from Liquid. Goiko wants to go for more though. Still has that
They're just
armlet intact.
checking.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to go for it, especially with Winter's Curse available on Alliance's side. They have decent fight potential in this pit area. Then again, there is so much sustain from Liquid that now that Koika is at relatively high HP, they can feel pretty comfortable going in. Initiation onto FNG, but the save from Handskin is there. Mickey going for the courier right now. Poor Shagmore falls into the depths of God knows where. As Boxy now in the middle of the river getting bursted down by S4. Looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1 with Razor going down the other side. Koika pretty much positioned himself next to Nico Baby. And they'll be able to take this fight pretty handily now. A 3-0, make it 4, and a free Roche. Complete team wipe. Not even a remotely close fight. And it was very spaced out as well.
There were things going right for Alliance in that even. They got a full duration static link off on the Huskar with the Razor, which is really what you want to see in this game. But Huskar gets Oracle ultied when he's low. He just turns around, fights Razor with Burning Spears the whole time and doesn't die. He just lives from his Berserker's blood alone against the Razor. The Ricky gets the jump off, but instant Stampede to save the Oracle in the start of the fight. And I feel like once these fights extend far enough, like if Liquid just survived the initial jump with the Razor and the Ricky, there's just so little in Alliance's tank to really work with. That fight looked really easy to play after the first 10 seconds. And Alliance even had a sick ward. Like, they can't ask for more than that. They had the perfect ward on the enemy, but didn't get dewarded until mid-fight. And Liquid just jumped the Ogre, who isn't even a great target. They just needed the fight to start, and that was it.
I think at the end of the day, at this stage of the game, even if the game was even in net worth, I think Liquid's lineup is just stronger right now. You're hitting...
It is really strong.
Items for certain heroes like Pushka, they're just stronger at this stage, just plain and simple. But the question is, when does that start falling off? Like if you go into the late game, let's say this goes 45 minutes. I know that's a hard question to answer, but on paper, do you see potential for Alliance to kind of bring this back?
I do.
Is it all in the hands of Nico Baby on the Ricky?
They have good scaling things, right? They have a Ogre is always going to be useful for double physical core later on with Razor and Ricky. Wyvern Curse is always an X factor against any lineup, because the later it goes, the more damage heroes deal, so Curse can win games. So the potential is definitely there. It's just about ease of execution, right? Like, can you get it done on mid lane S4? Yeah. Jump mid Timber Chain
up.
Now it's a bit optimistic.
TP now, and Lip is going to static link. S4 go out to safety, so Sonic Wave expended and no kill.
I didn't think they were going to try for that even. Sonic was very optimistic.
He's working on an Orchid as well, so it's going to be one on each respective side here. So from Alliance's perspective, is there a specific item that you're like, once we get this, we're going to feel so much better about these fights? Or is it just a combination of everything?
You need Razor's BKB, so he doesn't die so easily to Huskar's Burning Spears. That will definitely be a big help. But like, we're going to sound a bit like a broken record, but the problems are still the same. I'm trying to think of what item Alliance gets that allows them to really stay on top of heroes right now. And kill them off.
This is the spot, Cinder, and do you remember yesterday?
Oh, I do.
Spot right here.
I do.
At the bottom rune does not get destroyed with a rapier, because not only does he not have a rapier, but he also has Aegis intact. So
and he is Huskar. And it's not the same game.
It is not the same.
Most importantly, it is not the same game. Damn, that was a bit of a jab at Navi. I think that was uncalled for.
I mean, that was one of the more memorable games I've ever cast, so just trying to remember it with fond memories here. Handskin is forced to use his Winter's Curse. It will save his life.
It won't next time. Mickey has an Orchid now, after this wave.
Yeah. To go along with the Yule Scepter as Koika is actually somewhat alone here for now. A 1v3. Of course, the false promise Oracle brings himself in, but Nico Baby's just going to clean him up very easily. Now Koika, I'm not sure if he's on the run or not. I can see that thanks to the false promise. Here is the Stampede Limp. Pops the BKB, but he's already really really low. And they're just going to finish him off. Nope, there's the Cold Embrace, keeping him safe for now. Going to continue to stack, but there's a Sonic Wave to finish him off in style. And a Push Stomp initiation onto S4. Life Break available again. And this looks to be another kill going the way of Liquid. And there's the Yules. Mickey able to find yet another one in Liquid's arms. But the Quap is taken out by the Ricky. Nico Baby, do they have vision? They do not.
Detection.
So he's going to get away with a little bit of a cheeky play there.
And Mickey got really horny there to get the Wyvern as well, but obviously used all of his escapes to get the kill. Sometimes you get kill horny. Have you not heard that?
Well, I have never heard that.
Really?
I like it. No.
He was kill horny there for sure. So he blink Yuled the Wyvern between the enemy tier 2 and tier 3 tower, and that's just an invitation to Ricky to get that counter kill. Like Quap used both escapes.
So it's consensual. That's good. I mean, it is a succubus, you know, so you have to remember the lore behind it.
Way too much about this.
Ogre Magi destroyed in the mid lane as Pushka still has his Aegis. Not sure how much longer, though. Halberd intact as well. Chakram.
Oh, it just ran out.
Yeah, it does run out, and he's not going to get the regen.
Huskar don't care about that.
True.
Well, he would have liked to get the mana, I guess, but yeah.
He'll live, is the important thing. So yeah, Nico Baby ends up stealing a kill there. I'm not sure how often this talent is chosen, but 6 HP regen for Ricky. I've personally never seen it, but maybe that's the thing these days. Especially at this stage. He just took it. I think he took his 15 talent first.
Right. I'm trying to find a reason for 6 health regen to be better than 20 attack speed this game.
It might have been a misclick.
I don't know.
I can understand like getting it if you get an early level 10 and you're still, I don't know.
I mean, attack speed doesn't matter in Tricks of the Trade, right? It's irrelevant.
No,
but, so it's only your attacks after you blink strike outside of Tricks. So it's not that great either. But you would think that the attack speed is nice for, you know, ramp up a farm. When you're level 10, you increase your farming speed around the map.
All right, stop. Fire Blast to counter though. Stampede is used, and it looks like Liquid will get out. What? Corpo wants to fight though. FNG taking the brunt of the damage. He's going to be the first to fall in this engagement. Corpo jumps in. That's up a nice inner fire. Getting static. Limp though. The BKB onto Limp. False promise. Keeping Corpo healthy, but all his damage is going to be gone here in just a moment. Limp still at relatively low HP. His Sonic Wave is used to take out Handskin in quick effect. And now the focus is going to be on this pesky Timberstock. Koikva applying more damage over time than you can... I don't know what I was going to say. S-Sword's dead. Again. And again,
you got the conclusion right. You got the conclusion right.
The conclusion is they all died. Nico Baby Wolves is not available, but Disruption is there. Hoof Stomp and Death. Alliance lost everyone. Ogre Magi respawned so fast. He didn't know what to do with himself. So this is just looking like a snowball out of control type of situation for Liquid. And I mean, playing Ricky from behind especially feels really bad.
It's hard.
Like, it's hard enough for him to get kills on paper, right? We're just looking at this line to begin with, but when you're behind, it's like, we've seen some people, I don't think he could have gone for this game, but we've talked about this in the past. If you can get an item like a Battle Fury, you can start farming really fast, accelerate. But the problem is you're playing against a Huskar, so you have to fight really fast.
Yeah.
So not only can you not find kills right now, you can't really farm. It's not a great farming hero in general.
Especially not without that attack speed on.
Oh, yeah, that's the big one.
Way slower.
He's going to live to regret that one. Boy, oh boy.
It's just honestly, you know, there's so many good things to say about Liquid this game. Not so many for Alliance. Like it's really beautiful to watch Liquid play the team fights in this game. I think they're doing a very good job communicating more than anything. Like, they're positioning their heroes really well. They're saving each other. They're really quick to back up. And I can't really put a finger on pretty much anything they've done in team fights this game. And usually in the past with Liquid, I could, but they've just. For this tournament, they've really been stepping up their game, only losing to Secret so far, obviously. They're just playing solid Dota, and they're getting their picks this game, that's for sure.
Yep.
But what are their picks? They have a lot of heroes, actually, as well. So, good stuff.
Nico Baby needs to find somebody. Not sure. Well, he's going to
found a tier 1 tower.
Yeah,
Yoink.
somebody. That is
Radiant's top
objective.
tower is under attack.
Very good.
I take back what I said earlier that Ricky doesn't push towers. He did.
That is technically correct.
He did hit it.
But checking out Roshan, it's gonna be up in a minute and a half. And that might be the moment in which, if they're able to find it, I can't see a way for Lions to withstand this. It's gonna be very difficult to come back. It already is. Might be insurmountable at that point. Unless a rapier comes into play, then anything is possible, as the Alliance knows.
Dire
Nico
are
Baby
scanning.
is bloodlusted right now. Is
Oh,
going
Hanskin,
for
that's
a Manta.
optimistic.
Yeah, he's dead.
Well, he got it.
He did, but it's not even remotely close to
Actually, I don't even know if that was optimistic. I think it's hard for him to predict that there will be a Queen of Pain sitting down here waiting, and that the Quap will try to go for that solo kill. So, with our vision, obviously super optimistic, but from his perspective, that might not have seemed that risky. Limb?
True.
He's just
Limp. He
Gonna
has the
run away.
8-second BKB. He will use it.
yeah.
And
That's
of
true.
course, no BKB piercing stuns to speak up for Alliance. Or for Liquid, I should say.
Nico
Bottom lane,
Baby.
he's in a bit of trouble.
Stampede.
All right, the Stampede, the False Promise, every save you can ask for as a core, as FNG might have to sacrifice his life for the betterment of his team. And he will. Nico Baby does get out at the very least. A lot of TP rotations and 2 ultimates used, but man, that's the thing with these saves, Cinder. The cooldowns on them are not ridiculously long either. They have them fairly consistently.
Absolutely. I mean, what is a really long cooldown save in Dota nowadays? What's the longest cooldown save? And it might
Black
be level
Hole,
1
the
False
greatest
Promise.
save of them all.
I guess level 1 False Promise. But yeah, the cooldown
the
reduction
cooldown
down to
level
level
one?
2 is a lot. You cut down 35 seconds. It's a really big deal. Yeah, I don't know. Is there a really... That's the longest cooldown I can think of.
Koikfa
Spawn?
on top of S4, who is basically dead. Gets off the Yules, but easily brought down. So trying to create space, and he technically does so with his death. Ricky is now sitting on a Manta Style, wants to go for Nullifier. That is his next choice, of course. Just beginning his venture into the that as he will get destroyed. Very low. Gets off the tricks of the trade, though. Boxing has taken the amount of damage. Very nice. Able to save Nico Baby and no damage in the meantime. Can they get cold embraced? But perhaps a little overconfident for Liquid. When we talk about how the cooldowns are pretty low, he did not have Stampede because he had just
Right.
used it.
I mean, this was the first kind of clear mistake they've made, except maybe Mika's dive between the bottom 2 towers when he went for the Wyvern. Those are the only 2 plays that really stand out to me as overextensions. And yeah, big kill for Alliance. Like, they're gonna take anything they can get right now. That was 500 gold for Limp. There was some more AoE gold for his team as well. Will actually earn him a... Is this a full halberd or just a...
Oh, Winter's
Okay.
first, showing off that Orchid on Handskin, but there's the save for now from Taiga. Pop the BKB, doesn't okay. And we'll blink to safety. Goiko wants to continue? No. We'll hold off. Playing it safe. Did force out a BKB onto the Queen of Pain. That was the 10-second one, in fact.
A really close call from S4 as well to get out of there. He already used his Yules, and as soon as Quap popped BKB, she blinked Orchid at him, but he already threw out the Timber Chain. So he did get the disengage off.
Damn, I didn't even notice how farmed the Shadow Demon was. Blink, Ghost Scepter, Aether Lens right now. So no wonder he was able to get there in time.
It's honestly, the biggest surprise for me in this whole game is that they're not buying 4 stems. I would have almost sworn that that's absolutely gonna happen here. But they just feel like they don't need it with Stampede. They're not buying a single force against Ricky Huskar, or sorry, Ricky Razor, and Chakram. They don't care.
Roshan is being attempted, and it will successfully be taken out as a hook stomp. Counter initiation onto Limp. Does have his BKB with pop, but there's the ult from Huskar. Stampede to create a little bit of distance so the static link won't be applied for too long. Ricky dealing a decent amount of damage, but now puts himself in a horrible spot as he's bursted down immediately. And we'll see if Liquid can get any more. Mickey, Hanskin will Winter curse him and keep it out to safety. Koifa looks like he'll have to take S4 for himself. That's their consolation prize. So a 2-for-0 along with the Roshan kill, and they can probably go for more.
Yep, they have a wave coming here in the mid. Actually, there's a siege creep slowing them down. How annoying. You see Quick for ping, he's like,
Dire's middle tower is
come
under
on.
attack.
You got it now.
Yeah,
I wonder if you high ground just flat out here, or if you want to control the map a bit more. You definitely high ground with this wave, but if this wave gets killed, if you just go straight back, or if you are straight back to high grounding, that is, or if you control the map a bit. Liquid is a team that is very methodical about pushing. A lot of the time, they definitely take their sweet time with trying to end the game and build themselves the biggest advantage they can, which there's nothing wrong with. You know, it's playing to win, and they will indeed do that. I think a lot of other teams here force this tower.
Yeah, especially with Winter's Curse down as well.
Yeah. They'll play map
But
control.
they did force the fortification, so they'll be happy with that. And they still have the Aegis for quite some time. It was, I'm guessing, Mickey. No, who's carrying the cheese? Oh, Centaur is. Okay.
Radiant's
So
bottom
Boxy
tower
holding
is
on
under
for
attack.
now. Has his Blink, Vanguard, Vladimir's offering, and actually has the Quickening Charm, so his ult is only a 78-second cooldown now. Looks
Not
like
again,
FNG's gonna
FNG.
tank this gank. Yeah, he is just dead.
Well, they might give it a bonus.
For him. Nico Baby, into the trees he goes, Blink Strike.
Dire's top tower is under
And this is
attack.
going to be, at the very least, a tier 2 Handskin. Even with a god tier Winter's Curse, if everybody together, perhaps.
Got insane
Gonna
quickly
clean up
enough.
the Oracle, very nicely done, but it's going to turn into a Wyvern kill right off the bat. The buyback on the Oracle, in fact, will be TPing back here relatively soon. So with the tier 2 down, still Aegis there. They can potentially go for more. Ricky.
Dire's
Soul
top
Catcher.
tower is under
He will
attack.
Blink Strike. We'll be just fine. So Shiva's incoming for Quap very soon. Koikva, like we said, has an assault not too far away from Satanic. And still, Nico Baby, he's working on the same item. He's only gained 1,000 gold since the last time we talked about him. Still
Yeah.
going for that nullifier.
They have so little map
Not a good
control.
deal.
There's not really any spaces to farm, and the one space that they had was where Ogre went to die. So good thing that he was there, because anyone else would have died there too. Just really kind of running out of options in Alliance, it has felt like, for the last 33 minutes and 29 seconds.
Koikva onto the high ground. I'm not sure if that's actually what he wanted. There's a false promise. See what he does with this. He's going to apply more pressure to S4. Winter's Curse is still available.
he
Will
dies
be
from
enough
this one.
damage.
Oh, he
no,
died.
he will not.
Actually,
Half HP. He's
they
fine,
did
bro.
so much damage there. Like,
Yeah.
they did insane amounts of damage, and it still wasn't enough. Like, I feel like I shouldn't be surprised anymore by Oracle Huskar, but it's just sometimes it seems like the damage is too overwhelming. Like, they hit so much into him, and it still wasn't even close. Well, that's the halberd. That definitely helps.
Yeah,
Radiant's bottom tower
no
is under
doubt about it.
attack.
Taiga on the Shadow Demon is going for an Aghanim Scepter, one of my favorites. Classic Ags, the triple ult, very annoying to deal with,
Yeah.
and crippling for a lot of heroes. I mean, he's on pace to get that before Ricky even finishes his nullifier that he's been working on for so long.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this axe. I think it's one of the best in the game for me. Just the insane amount of damage or flat out control that you get in the fight from this hero is pretty incredible. And he has the defensive items he needs in this game. Like, again, you could talk Force Staff, but clearly it hasn't been needed. Ghost Scepter should be enough to distance himself from getting jumped by
Radiant's
Ricky.
top tower is under attack.
So yeah, don't mind that at all.
Yeah, the exact reason that Nullifier is trying to be built here for Ricky to counter the Ghost Scepter. So then they will have to get, surely they'll have to get 4 steps down.
Boxy.
Smoke here from Alliance. Here's the Huskar. That's a huge ult. On to S4 again. That seems to be his main target. He's going to focus on Ricky now. Switch back to S4 as the Aegis is now gone again. Will not be healed again. Still Cheese intact. Centaur uses his ult, but Limp is dealing a lot of damage. They lost the Winter Wyvern, so Hanskin not able to use his ult. Sonic Wave into the life break, just completely sandwiching Limp in, and he's gonna drop as a result, and that's gonna be 3 deaths in very quick succession here for Liquid. These Aegises haven't been used, but it hasn't mattered at all. See if they go for this mid lane now. So,
I think
approaching the
things
20k net
Liquid-
worth lead here for Liquid.
One of the things Liquid is doing best is that their heroes are... They're always playing around each other while still keeping a really good distance. Like, there's never a chance for a spell combo. There hasn't been an opportunity to curse this whole game. Like, every single fight, he just ends up getting orchided and killed. Double buyback.
Yes, double
No
buyback
stampede,
after
yes,
the
BKB.
blink in for Boxy. Yeah, the BKB stampede in 5 seconds. He can get out, this would be big, but there's a Winter's Curse.
He has cheese.
He does have cheese, that is true. He will eat it. Not lactose intolerant from my boy Centaur. And he's good to go. Alliance will pretty much have to take that trade. 2 buybacks for a cheese, really. Does cheese sell for 500 gold, Cinder? 250.
500.
How much would it have to be for you to think it's worth buying in a shop? Let's say it was available in the shop.
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you think 500? I mean, if it sells for 500, that means it's worth 1,000, right? Is it worth 1,000 gold?
Yes. People would
Is it
definitely
worth
be
it?
buying it.
What's the limit for you? I know it's game dependent.
What kind of question is that? How am I
Give it to
supposed
me.
to answer that?
Cinderin, please. This is very important.
1730.
Wow. So 1740 is over.
I hate
Radiant
you.
scanning.
Quick.
I gave a
Has the
stupid
satanic
answer so you would
now.
stop talking about it. And you
I
still
gave you
kept
another
going.
stupid question after that. Well, Satanic's online for Koikoi. He's not 25 yet, which is a little bit surprising to me.
Oh, Taiga?
Oh, Taiga? Ghost Scepter, but no nullifier yet. He's just sitting on the helm of Iron Will. Very unfortunate. Koik jumps in onto the Razor. The BKB is popped now. Remember, Satanic is there with all these saves, and as usual, FNG's going to be the first to fall. 4-0 this game, just been getting decimated time and time again. Sonic Wave onto 2. They're just trying to Winter's Curse. They finally will get it off, but Boxy's going to come in and easily clean him up. S4 buys back into the game as the chase continues. Okay, now with that Shiva's inside the cloud is Nico Baby attempting to do some damage. Ooh, the nice disruption, keeping the clock alive for a little bit longer. There's the false promise keeping her alive now. So again, the save after save as Team Liquid are just crushing these fights. And Mickey's at full HP as per
Dire's top
norm.
tower is under attack.
And with this, they should be able to get mid, I was going to say, probably a GG. And GG is now held. So Liquid taking game 1 in, it felt very methodical like you were talking about, but made like maybe one slight mistake this game, and everything else was pretty clean.
They played really, really well this game. We've been giving them a lot of credit, but I think they deserve it.